Hello, welcome back. This is Economics 232. This is Dr. James Yohe with Gadsden State Community College. And here we are looking at Chapter 9, Monopoly. This is Part 2. Again, this is a video lecture and not a quiz, so there are no questions at the end. Part of this lecture, I'm going to use the Cengage MindTap Applia homework, which you are not assigned in this chapter. But you'll have similar questions to this on quizzes and exams. Okay, so here we've got an example where we're going to be calculating total revenue, marginal cost, and profit for a monopolist. And suppose Beth gives haircuts on Saturdays to make extra money. She's the only person in town cutting hair on Saturdays, and therefore has some market power, assuming that she does not incur fixed costs. And the only significant variable cost to Beth is her time, as she gives more haircuts. Beth must increasingly forego other valuable Saturday activities. For example, if she gives one haircut, she forgoes reading the paper after breakfast. If she gives two haircuts, she gives up reading the paper and spending an extra half hour, sleeping an extra half hour, etc. So here, Beth's clients are a varied group, willing to pay between $16 and $28 for a haircut. Assume that Beth cannot price discriminate, i.e. charge different prices to different clients. If Beth charges $28 per haircut, she will have one client per week, $24, two clients, so forth and so on. The following table. Okay, so we look here at the table below. You can see here's the number of haircuts. Here's the price. This is per haircut. So she does one haircut, she charges $28. She can do two if she charges $24 for each haircut, etc. And then we've got total revenue. Total revenue is equal to price times quantity. So if she produces one haircut, that's the quantity, output, times $28, total revenue is $28. Two haircuts, $24 each, $48, etc. Four haircuts at $18, her total revenue would be $72. So we're going to put that in there. 4 times 18 is 72. So we enter that. Now, marginal revenue is the next thing. Remember, marginal revenue is graphed on the half. So the marginal revenue of the first haircut is graphed in between 0 and 1, $28. If she drops the price to $24 but does two haircuts, her total revenue is $48. That's an increase in revenue of $20, so her marginal revenue is $20. Here, going from 60 to 72, take 72 minus 60, performing a fourth haircut, even though she has to drop the price from 20 to 18, she still increases total revenue by $12. So we'll put $12 in there. Okay. Marginal cost, you can see here. If she does 4 haircuts, her total costs are $36. If she does 3 haircuts, her total costs are $20. So marginal cost of that fourth haircut is an additional $16. And now we'll look at profit. If she does 4 haircuts, she brings in $72 in revenue, but has $36 in total cost. Her total profit here is going to be $36. So we enter that. Now if you look, doing a fourth haircut, what does that do to total profit? It decreases it from 40 to 36. So we know that, her name is Beth, will not perform 4 haircuts on Saturday. Instead, she's probably only going to do 3, and we'll show in a minute why. Okay? But we look to the point where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Here, the marginal cost of that fourth haircut is $16. That's higher than the $12 in marginal revenue she gained, so she won't do that haircut. She'll do something between 3 and 4 haircuts, and in this case she can't do half a haircut, so she'll do 3 haircuts. Okay. On the following graph, use the blue points to plot Beth's total revenue. So on the y-axis we have total revenue, etc. Quantity of output. For each output, we'll graph the revenue, total revenue. So for 1 unit of output, or 0, its total revenue is 0. For 1 haircut, Her total revenue is $28. You can see this is all we're graphing is this row compared to that number of units of number of haircuts. Total revenue is $48 if she does 2, $60 if she does 3, $72 if she does 4, and $80 if she does 5 haircuts. Total cost, on the other hand, if she does 1 haircut, her total cost is $4. If she does 2 haircuts, her total costs are $12. 3 haircuts, total cost are $20. 4 haircuts, her total cost go up to $36. 5 haircuts, her total cost go up to $56. Okay. And profit. No haircuts, no profit. Oh, we forgot. 0 haircuts, total costs are 0. There. Oh. We'll leave that. Let's bring that up there. Okay. Total profit with 1 haircut is $24. Total profit with 2 haircuts is $36. 3 haircuts, $40. 4 haircuts, $36. So you can see here total profit increases, reaches its maximum here, then starts to fall. Beth is a profit maximizer, so she's going to produce 3 haircuts and make $40 in total profit. You can see up here. Now we'll graph her marginal revenue curve. Okay. Marginal revenue is here. At 1 unit of output, marginal revenue is $28. 1 unit, up 128. Marginal revenue is $20 for the second haircut. For the third haircut, marginal revenue is $12. Remember, these are put on the half. So the third unit of output, we got to go up a little bit to get its marginal revenue, $12. Same thing for the fourth, and then 8 for the fifth. So we're just going to graph those. I forgot what it was already. 12, 12, and 8. Okay. So third haircut, $12. Fourth haircut, $12. Fifth haircut, marginal revenue was 8. Okay. There's a marginal revenue curve. Marginal cost. We go up here. $4, 8, 8, 16, and 20. So 4 for the first. 4. 8 for the second. 8 for the third. 8 for the second. 8 for the third. 16 for the fourth. And 20 for the fifth. 16, 20. Now, where these two curves cross, marginal revenue and marginal cost, that's how many haircuts she'll produce. Now, that comes out to be about 3.5. She can't do half a haircut, so she'll do 3 haircuts, because after that, the fourth haircut, her total profit will fall. So she maximizes her profit by serving 3 clients and charging, is it 20? Make sure. $20 a haircut. If Beth gave more haircuts, her marginal revenue would be less than her marginal costs, and her profits would decline. And we'll hit grade it now real quick, just so we can see that we got a full 100%. What? What did we miss? Oh, the graphs came up off here because I didn't graph that. And I missed another one there. Okay, but we didn't graph all the points, that's why. I don't see why we missed that one. Might have been off by one. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is price discrimination. Okay. This is a practice of a seller charging different prices for the same product not justified by cost differences. Okay. Now, in order to price discriminate, you have to be able to distinguish between different groups of customers or clients. An example of price discrimination is the happiest place on earth, Disneyland. I used to live in Southern California, and when I did, there were different elasticities of demand for different customers. For example, I lived in Orange County, which Anaheim is in Orange County, where Disneyland is. People who lived in Orange County, their price elasticity of demand was very elastic. The price of a visit to Disneyland, a percentage change in price, had a huge effect on the number of times or the quantity demanded for people that lived in Orange County to go to Disneyland. As a kid, I used to go to Disneyland 2, 3, 4 times a year. Okay? However, what if you live in Oklahoma or Alabama? If they dropped the price of a Disneyland ticket by $20, would that have much of an effect on how often people from Alabama go to Disneyland? No. So their price elasticity of demand was very inelastic. So to make money, increase revenue, Disneyland would like to charge people in Orange County, California, less to go to Disneyland than people who lived in Alabama, and they did. And they were able to do this because they could prevent what we call arbitrage. Arbitrage is where you practice of earning a profit by buying a good at a low price and reselling the good at a higher price. Now, in Orange County, you have a driver's license. Your parents had to buy the tickets. If you showed up to the ticket booth with an Orange County driver's license, then you got a better price on the Disneyland tickets than you would if you showed up without one. Now, they could only get away with doing this, with discriminating, by charging people in Orange County less for Disneyland tickets than people from Alabama. The only way they could get away from that would be if they could tell who was from Orange County and who was from Alabama. Now, I could go and buy an Orange County ticket and then turn around and sell it to somebody for Alabama. Maybe I pay $30 for the ticket, and I sell it to them for something less than $60, maybe $50, and I make a profit. Okay? But you couldn't do that because you had to show an Orange County driver's license to get into the park. If you didn't have the Orange County driver's license, you couldn't get in on the Orange County ticket. So if you can prevent arbitrage, people from buying low and selling high, people buying an Orange County ticket and selling it to Alabama tickets, then you can engage in price discrimination. Now, is price discrimination unfair? And the answer is, what is fair? But the answer is probably not. Many buyers benefit from the discrimination by not being excluded from purchasing the product. In India, they engage in price discrimination with railroad tickets. They charge a lot of money to be in a luxury car where you have people serving you with white gloves and tea, and you're inside and the cars are nice. Meanwhile, the other ticket they have is cattle car ticket, where you're sitting on top of a box or you're sitting outside. And those tickets are very, very cheap. This allows people in India to travel by train even though they're poor. In essence, the wealthier people, the people who can afford to pay for the luxury seats pay more, and that to some degree subsidizes the cattle car seats. Okay? So by engaging in price discrimination, more people get to take the train in India. Now, the last question we want to ask is, how is monopoly compared to perfect competition? Perfect competition was efficient. Price is equal to marginal cost. That is the neoclassical definition of efficiency. Here, under monopoly, price is not equal to marginal cost. A monopolist is therefore inefficient because resources are underallocated to the production of its product. A monopolist will produce less output than a perfectly competitive market. And they do this because by restricting output, they can increase their total profit if they don't have competition. Here's an example. Well, we're not going to go with the price discrimination example here. So, is perfect competition efficient? And the answer is yes. Under perfect competition, price equals marginal cost. In the neoclassical world, that is efficient. Under a monopoly, the price is greater than marginal cost. Okay. And you can see here, a monopolist produces to the point where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, but because price isn't equal to marginal cost, if you have a downward sloping demand curve, the monopolist charges a price higher than marginal cost. Meanwhile, if we go back to perfect competition, because the perfectly competitive firm faces a horizontal demand curve, marginal revenue is equal to demand, which is equal to price. Marginal revenue equals marginal cost at this point, and so does the price. So the perfectly competitive firm is efficient, the monopolist is not. How does monopoly harm consumers? It does so by charging a higher price than a competitive market would charge. It produces a lower quantity of output than under a perfectly competitive situation. Long-run average total costs are higher under a monopolist. You can see here, here's where a perfectly competitive firm would produce in a market. Here's where the monopolist produces. Okay. So more output gets produced by a perfectly competitive firm than a monopolist. The price that a monopolist charges is higher. In the long run, a monopolist can make a long-run make a long-run profit. They charge a price higher than marginal cost, so they are not efficient, and they alter the distribution of income in favor of monopolists. That is the end of this video lecture. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.